Imagine waking up one day and realizing that Earth is slowly dying. Not because of war, not because of an asteroid, but because the very crops that keep humanity alive are disappearing one by one. This is the terrifying future imagined by Christopher Nolan in his 2014 science fiction masterpiece, Interstellar. Widely regarded as one of the greatest space movies ever made, Interstellar combines cutting-edge science, emotional storytelling, and breathtaking visuals into a journey that stretches across galaxies and even time itself. The story begins in the near future, where humanity is facing a crisis unlike anything it has ever experienced. Earth is no longer the thriving world we know today. Massive dust storms sweep across entire regions. The environment is collapsing, and a mysterious plant disease known only as the blight is slowly wiping out the world's food supply. Year after year, crops disappear. First one species, then another. Scientists fear that eventually nothing edible will remain. Humanity isn't preparing for a brighter future anymore. It's simply trying to survive. In this harsh world lives Joseph Cooper, a former NASA test pilot and engineer played by Academy Award winner Matthew McConaughey. Once, Cooper dreamed of exploring the stars. But now those dreams are long gone. Instead, he spends his days working as a farmer, growing crops, and trying to provide for his family. He lives with his father-in-law and his two children, Tom and Murph. Tom is practical and hardworking. Murph is different. She's curious, intelligent, and constantly asking questions that nobody else seems interested in answering. And lately, something strange has been happening in her bedroom. Books randomly fall from shelves. Dust gathers in unusual patterns across the floor. Objects move without explanation. Murph becomes convinced that a ghost is trying to communicate with her. But Cooper doesn't believe in ghosts. As an engineer and man of science, he assumes there must be a logical explanation. Still, even he can't ignore the strange events forever. One morning, after another unexplained occurrence, Cooper notices something unusual hidden within the dust patterns. The markings don't seem random at all. In fact, they appear to form a coded message. A message that points to a specific set of coordinates. At first, it sounds impossible, but curiosity gets the better of them. So Cooper and Murph decide to investigate. Following the coordinates into the middle of nowhere, they stumble upon a secret hidden from the rest of the world. A place that was never supposed to be found. A place connected to humanity's last hope for survival. And from that moment on, Cooper's life changes forever. Because what waits beyond those coordinates isn't just a secret. It's the beginning of a journey that will take him farther than any human has ever traveled before. One day, they discover hidden coordinates buried within these mysterious messages. The coordinates lead them to a secret underground facility. And that's where everything changes. The facility turns out to be NASA. Despite what the public believes, NASA never shut down. Instead, they've been secretly working on humanity's last hope for survival. Professor Brand reveals an incredible discovery. A wormhole has appeared near Saturn. On the other side are several potentially habitable planets. A group of astronauts was sent years ago to investigate them. Now Cooper is asked to lead a mission through the wormhole and determine which planet can become humanity's new home. It's an impossible decision. Accept the mission and save humanity, or stay with his children. Eventually, Cooper chooses the mission, and Murph is devastated. Cooper joins a crew consisting of Amelia Brand, Romilly, Doyle, and two advanced robots named Tars and Case. After a long journey, they finally reach Saturn and enter the wormhole. On the other side lies an entirely different galaxy. The crew must choose between three candidate planets. They decide to visit Miller's planet first. But there's a problem. The planet orbits dangerously close to a massive black hole called Gargantua. And that means time works very differently there. Every single hour on the planet equals 7 years back on Earth. The crew lands on what appears to be a shallow ocean world. At first, everything seems normal. Then they notice something terrifying. Mountains in the distance aren't mountains at all. They're giant tidal waves. The team barely escapes. Doyle is killed. And by the time Cooper and the others return to their ship, 23 years have passed on Earth. 23 years. Gone. In what felt like only a few hours. Cooper watches decades of video messages from his children and realizes how much he's missed. Desperate for answers, the crew heads toward the second planet. This world belongs to Dr. Mann, one of humanity's most respected scientists. At least, that's what everyone thought. Mann admits the shocking truth. His planet is completely uninhabitable. He faked the data because he didn't want to die alone. Then he betrays Cooper and leaves him for dead. As the situation spirals out of control, Romilly is killed. Mann attempts to steal the Endurance spacecraft, but his reckless docking maneuver ends in disaster. The station is heavily damaged. And now survival seems impossible. With fuel running out, Cooper comes up with a desperate plan. Use Gargantua's gravity to slingshot toward the final planet. To make it work, Cooper sacrifices himself. He detaches from the spacecraft and falls directly into the black hole. But instead of being destroyed, he survives. Inside, he discovers something beyond human understanding. A 5-dimensional structure called the Tesseract. Here, time exists as a physical space. Cooper realizes the mysterious ghost from Murph's room was actually him all along. Using gravity, he sends messages across time, including the data needed to solve humanity's biggest problem. Back on Earth, Murph finally decodes Cooper's message. Using the information from inside the black hole, she completes the gravity equation. Humanity is saved. Massive space stations are built, and people finally leave the dying Earth behind. Years later, Cooper wakes up aboard one of these stations. Because of time dilation, only a few years have passed for him. But for everyone else, decades have gone by. He reunites with an elderly Murph one last time, and she gives him a final mission: find Amelia Brand. The woman still exploring a distant world alone. The movie ends with Cooper stealing a ship and heading back into space. Not to save humanity, but to find the person waiting for him among the stars. And that's Interstellar, a story about science, sacrifice, time, and the idea that love might be powerful enough to cross the universe itself. How much time Cooper actually loses throughout the movie. Because of time dilation, Cooper only ages a few years during the mission. Meanwhile, more than 80 years pass for people back on Earth. By the time he reunites with Murph, she's an elderly woman while he still appears relatively young. That's one of the most emotional consequences of Einstein's theory of relativity ever shown in a movie. So, is Interstellar worth watching? Absolutely. Whether you're a fan of science fiction, space exploration, emotional storytelling, or simply great filmmaking, Interstellar offers something for everyone. It's one of those rare movies that entertains you while also making you think long after the credits roll. Some people watch it for the science, others watch it for the visuals, and many watch it for the emotional father-daughter story at its heart. Whatever your reason, Interstellar remains one of the most influential science fiction films ever made. And if you've never seen it before, it's definitely a movie that deserves a spot on your watch list. What do you think about Interstellar? Was it a masterpiece, or was the ending a little too confusing? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this movie recap, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more movie explanations, ending breakdowns, and Hollywood movie recaps. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.